Today, we're going to explore the incredible natural phenomenon of tropical storms, also known as hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons. Let's break down how they form and the conditions that make them so intense. Step 1 is warm ocean water. Tropical storms form over oceans that are at least 27 degrees and are usually within 5 to 20 degrees north and south of the equator. The warmth of the ocean heats the air above, causing it to rapidly rise and begin the process of storm formation. Now, storms have different names around the world. They're called hurricanes if they form in the Atlantic or Eastern Pacific. They're called cyclones if they form in the Indian Ocean, and then typhoons in the Western Pacific. They're all the same type of storm, just known by different names. Step 2 is rising air and low pressure. As the warm, moist air rises from the ocean's surface, it begins to cool and condense into towering cumulonimbus clouds. This condensation releases latent heat energy, a key process that powers the storms. The released heat warms the surrounding air, making it rise even faster and strengthening the upward convection currents. As air continues to rise, air pressure at the surface drops even further, creating an area of intense low pressure. Air from the surrounding areas of the high pressure rushes in towards this low pressure zone, picking up more moisture from the ocean as it does so. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle. The more the air rises and cools, the more heat is released, and the faster the storm strengthens. Eventually, a rotating system of spiraling winds forms around this low pressure center, marking the early development of a tropical depression, the first stage of a tropical storm. Step 3 is the Coriolis effect. Here's where the Earth's rotation comes into play. The Coriolis effect causes moving air to spin, making the storm rotate. In the northern hemisphere, storms spin anti-clockwise. In the southern hemisphere, they spin clockwise. That's why storms don't form right on the equator, as there isn't enough Coriolis force there to make them spin. Step 4 is development of the eye and spiral rain bands. As the storm grows stronger, it begins to organize into a circular structure due to the Coriolis effect and the continuous inflow of moist air. The warm, rising air forms thick spiral rain bands, which are curved lines of thunderstorms that wrap around the storm center and release enormous amounts of rainfall. At the very center of the storm, the rising air is replaced by sinking air, forming the eye, a small but calm region where skies may even appear clear. Surrounding it is the eyewall, the most violent part of the storm. This is where wind speeds can exceed 250 kilometers per hour and torrential rainfall occurs. The sharp difference between the calm eye and the destructive eye wall is a defining feature of tropical storms. Step 5 is movement and weakening. Tropical storms are carried by global wind belts and can travel hundreds of kilometers. But once they move over cooler water or land, they lose their energy and weaken because their main energy source, the warm ocean water, has been cut off. Step 6 is climate change and tropical storms. As global temperatures rise, sea surface temperatures are also increasing. This means that tropical storms may form in more areas than before, and the storms could become more intense with heavier rainfall and stronger winds. We might also see the storm season could become longer, extending beyond the traditional months. However, scientists are still studying whether there will be more storms overall or just stronger ones. So next time you hear about a hurricane or typhoon forming, remember it all starts with warm ocean water, rising air, and the powerful spin of the Earth. These forces combine to create one of nature's most dramatic and destructive events, the tropical storm.